Hey guys, Center here again, welcome back to another video, and today I'm back with the Q&A, or not really back, but I am here with the Q&A for 650 subscribers, so I'd like to thank you guys for that milestone. I didn't do one at 600, so I only thought that it was appropriate to do one at 650. So yeah, just thank you for that, and thank you for also submitting your questions, and I'll be answering them in this Q&A session. So this video is going to be about like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, so kick back and just enjoy this little Q&A. So yeah, I'm going to jump into the first question. Alright, so that first question is from Vinci Gaming, and he asks, are you a Barbie girl in a Barbie world? This is a reference, and this will only be a reference to probably 2 other people who watch this video. And at our high school on last Friday, there was a rally, and if you guys ever watch Jimmy Fallon or ever seen lip sync battles, you guys would know about about the lip sync battle. So it was freshmen versus sophomore versus juniors versus seniors. If you don't know what that is, it's basically grade 9 versus 10 versus 11 versus 12. Yeah. So the juniors came out, and there was this, I think, guy in like a girl wig, and he was inside of a stroller, like a pink stroller. And they came out, and the Barbie music came on, and yeah, it was pretty much just a lip sync battle from there. But to answer your question, Vincent, yes, I am a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Alright, so our next question is from Mr. Black Ice 01. And he has 3 questions, and he asks, what is your favorite car, what is your least favorite car, and if EA and Origin decide to make another Need for Speed MMO, what do you want it to be like? So I'm going to answer the first one first, and you can't do this to me. I can't answer these. What is your favorite car? I don't know. There's just so many cars I love, and there's actually so many that you can't pick one out of 1,000. I would have to, if I were to go overall, I'd probably see the Aventador. But if I were to go from tuner, muscle, and exotic, I would say Aventador is my favorite super / exotic / hypercar. And then I'd say the BRZ or the GT86 are my favorite tuner car, and the Skyline is a close second. And then my favorite muscle car has to be the Camaro, the 1969 Camaro SS, or the 1969 Charger RT from Dodge. So yeah, that's another really good, those are some pretty good cars. But like I said, if I had to pick one out of those few cars, then I would say the Aventador. What is your least favorite car? I would have to go with Porsche and partially Honda. And I'll explain that right now. Or actually, I'll explain why I hate Porsche later on, because that's one of the questions. But why I hate Honda is, it's just because the people who ride them. You know, there's some people in the world who think Hondas are the best cars in the world, and that's fine, that's their opinion. But if they think they're like the fastest cars in the world, you are really wrong. So I don't know, I just don't like people who like, I mean, you could be a huge Honda fan, all you want. I really wouldn't care. I could be like, alright, good for you. But if you say that Hondas can beat any other tuner car, you are sadly mistaken. But yeah, I'd have to go for probably the Honda Civic hatchback, because that's, or the Honda, just any of the Honda Civics really, because those are the cars that are mainly you know, put to shame, just because there's a kid at my school who drives, there's a kid at my school who drives a Honda Civic, and he has Lamborghini doors on that. Not even joking. I could take a picture of it one day. But yeah, so probably Porsche or Hondas are my least favorite cars. And the third question is, if EA and Origin decide to make another Need for Speed MMO, what do you want it to be like? So, like I said in my Dream Need for Speed video, I'd really want it to be like that. I want it to be Need for Speed World, but with the Underground, Most Wanted, and Carbon touch put into it. Like, I want all of the game modes from Carbon, Most Wanted, and Underground really put into one game. That would be really cool. Just all the aspects put into one game. That would be really cool. But of course, people have their different opinions, and I'm not speaking for the public, I'm speaking for myself, so you may have a different opinion on what your dream Need for Speed is. But yeah, I would have to say an MMO would be pretty cool, especially with, you know, that underground slash carbon slash most wanted aspect. Alright, so the next question is from Brandon Johnson, and he asks, are you gay, and how awesome is SF Giant for life? So, don't know, this is another one of my school friends, and of course he had to be an asshole. But are you gay, and how awesome is SF Giant for life? Are you gay? No, nothing against gay people. If you're gay, good for you. You know, I don't argue against that. You could be whatever you want, and I wouldn't really judge you. And how awesome is SF Giant for life? He's pretty shit. Gonna be completely honest, he's pretty shit. But yeah. Alright, so our next question is from Kyle Tipton, another one of my friends, and he asks, what is a Q&A? I'm just gonna sit back and just look at this comment for a couple more minutes. Of course, there was one person who replied to this comment, and he asked, you give him a question, and he'll answer. I'm like, oh, yeah, he's just being a smartass, but I don't know what's a Q&A, Kyle. Do you know what a Q&A is? Alright, so the next question is from McRacerGG2, and he asks, why do you hate Porsche? Why do you hate Cops vs. Racers in Need for Speed games? And why are you still so stuck on Need for Speed Underground games? So I'm going to answer one first. I don't know. Porsche is just not my favorite type of car. And obviously, like I say, everyone has their own opinions, so I'm not going to really speak for everyone. But I do have a hatred for Porsche in a special part in my heart. Just because when people say that they're the best, let's say, cars in endurance racing, that is completely false, because they never win any big championships in endurance races, nor do they actually come close to that. They normally catch on fire halfway through the race, even before then. So yeah, I don't know, I don't think Porsches are the best made cars, and you could say the same thing about Lamborghini. They're just not, they all look the same. I don't know, I think all Porsches just look like extended Volkswagen Beetles. Me and my friends were talking about this. But yeah, I don't know, I just don't like Porsche. Why do you hate Cops vs. Racers in Need for Speed games? I don't know, I just don't like it. I guess you could say I hate it, but there's this part of me that says, I don't know, hate's a pretty strong word, so I'd say I really dislike it. I just don't like the actual feel of the Cops vs. Racers, if you get me. I mean, you know, my own opinion of a Need for Speed game is to be a racer, and the antagonists are cops. And in order to overthrow the cops, you have to progress up and up and up until you're absolutely, you know, undefeatable. But yeah, I don't like that feel. I feel like everyone should be racers, but like I said for the third or fourth time in this video, everyone has their own opinions. And the last question was, why are you so stuck on underground games? I don't know, I think the question should be, why am I so stuck on Most Wanted games? Because really, I think underground games, they're just not my favorite. I'd say it would go Most Wanted, Carbon, and then Underground 2, and then Underground 1. I wouldn't even put Underground 1 on that list, because I've never played that game. I do have it, but it just doesn't work on my computer for some weird reason. I think it is my disk drive, but I'm not so sure. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the question should be, why am I so stuck on Most Wanted games? And that just to simply answer that question, I don't know, I just thought that those games were a lot more built than these recent ones. Because, I mean, seriously, I don't know, I just like the progression. I like how you start off in a slow-ass car and you work your way up to one of the fastest cars in the game. Whereas if you compare it to today, yes, you still start off with a kind of a sluggish, fast car. It's still a fast car though, like starting off with a Porsche Cayman and Need for Speed Rivals. You look at that and you compare it to some of the other cars, that's pretty slow. But still, it's a Porsche fucking Cayman, like, you know, it's gonna go pretty fast. just because, you know, Porsches go fast in Need for Speed games. But yeah, so thank you for that question, and I know you weren't trying to be a dick about that. I know that, you know, those were legitimate questions, so I'm glad to answer those for you, and let's move on to the next question. Alright, so the next question is from Speedster GT3, and he asks, what do you think your parents think of gaming and or making videos, and who is your biggest inspiration? I'm going to answer the first one, of course. My parents really don't care. You know, I go outside pretty often, so, I mean, as long as I go outside every now and then, they really wouldn't care. And I mean, what do they think of gaming? Like I said, they really don't care, and making videos part, they really don't understand. Just because I'm filming like video games, like who would want to watch that? That's their logic. But I don't know, they just think they don't think like it's a weird thing, like, oh, that kid's weird, but they just think it's like a thing that, you know, not a lot of people do. They just don't understand it. And who is your biggest inspiration? I would say for making funny moments montages, it has to be Speedy W03 or KYR Speedy. And for racing games, I would say Tomcats or, oh man, this one's gonna be a hard one. Tomcat, EK Drifter, and there's a few others on that list. And I mean, even this people who I did meet, like Sergeant CT920. I mean, he makes pretty good racing game let's plays. The Speedway Gamer, he's another one of my inspirations, I guess you would call it, just because, you know, he makes Need for Speed videos, sort of like me, and we share the same opinions. Straight Up Hippo, Craptastic Jack, the list goes on and on. So yeah, those are, I guess, my inspirations. Just, you know, racing YouTubers, really. Alright, so the next question is from 13 Apollo or Wine Apollo, I'm not sure. But he asks, what do you think, or he or she asks, what do you think the next Need for Speed is going to be called? And he also says, I remember when there was a list of names that NFS could use, and I remember the run and Need for Speed No Limits on them. Alright, so, what do you think the next Need for Speed is going to be called? I think it's going to be called something really, really mainstream, like Need for Speed Supercharged or Need for Speed Turbocharged, or something along those lines, but yeah. I don't know what other names you could give a Need for Speed game, or Need for Speed Revamped, that could be another one, but yeah, I really don't know what the next Need for Speed is going to be called, and I don't work at Ghost Games, so that's up to them to answer later on when they actually announce the game. Alright, so the next question is from Fastest Classic, another one of my friends, and he said, Grats Sounder, for once I have a serious question. Do you plan on doing anything related to GTA 5 due to the PC release? That's a question that I'm going to answer positively. I think it's going to be yes, but it's going to be a little bit, you know, further into the future, probably in summer, because I've been spending a little bit of money just because of the Elgato and getting my Xbox One sort of fixed with the power cord. But I mean, other than that, I really don't think there's really anything else. And I mean, when I do the GTA 5 videos, I'm going to probably do them as often as I make Garry's Mod videos, for example. So really isn't going to be that often unless if I do car related things. But yeah, that's a definite yes. So thank you, Aaron, for that question. Alright, so the next question is from Nos Fox, and he asks, do you really hate Need for Speed, or do you really fucking hate Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012, and what was your first Need for Speed game? So to answer the first one, yes. Just yes. Need for Speed Most Wanted 2012 was just, I don't know, I hated that game. Like, I genuinely hate that game. Just because, I mean, they just shit on the Need for Speed Most Wanted title, and I don't know, I just didn't think it was a great Need for Speed game, and in fact, I really don't think it was a Need for Speed game, really. That's why I call it Burnout Most Wanted. It's a great Burnout game, really great Burnout game, really fun Burnout game. Was it well optimized? No. was a great Need for Speed? Hell to the no. And what was your first Need for Speed game? I'm gonna say, or no, I know this. So with my PS2, I got Need for Speed Underground 2 and Need for Speed Most Wanted. So yeah, that should pretty much answer both of your questions. So thank you, NosFox, for submitting your questions for the Q&A. So we have 3 more questions, and one of which come from Pyro Freak, and he asks, when do you think Need for Speed 2015 is coming, and what type of tune options do you want to see in Need for Speed 2015? So just to simply answer your question on when is it coming? Obvious answer is obvious. It's gonna be around November. So yeah. And what type of tune options do you want to see in Need for Speed 2015? So Need for Speed fans generally use the word tune as in customization options. But I'm going to answer it both ways. I'm going to say I want performance customization in depth. Like I want engine, transmission, turbo, or supercharger, suspension, exhaust. What else? I don't know, there's a lot really. I'd say look at the Most Wanted or Underground style of customization. I'd say look at that. And then visual tuning options, I would say, put some body kits in there, put some body customization, like put in some front bumpers, rear bumpers, spoilers, side skirts, hoods, roof scoops if you're into that. I'm not. I don't know, there's just a lot of things that you could put into visual tune options. And as far as, real tune options, sort of like what Forza does, I would say do exactly what Forza did. Add more tire pressure, fiddle around with the differential, the ride height, the camber, everything. I like what they did with the tuning in Need for Speed, Need for Speed Horizon 2. Yeah, totally. Forza Horizon 2, I really like the tuning options of that, so thank you, Pyro Freak, for submitting that question, and we're on to the second to last question, which was from KP48, and he or she asks, when do you think the announcement of 2015? Oh, I'm pretty sure you mean when do you think they are going to announce Need for Speed 2015? And I would say it's going to be this month. I'm recording this on the 30th of April, but this is going up on Friday the 1st. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be sometime this month. It's going to be probably one of the last weeks in the month. Maybe I'd say 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. At most 4 weeks from now, I'd say. But it's definitely going to be 2 to 4 weeks before E3, so hype. Alright, so the last questions are from Need for Speed Reventon 95, and I know I've seen your name around here forever, since probably 2011, 2012, I've seen you around here, so thank you for sticking around. I think you're one of my subscribers who have stuck around the longest outside of my friends, Sergeant CT920, and a few others. But he asks, what was your favorite Need for Speed car? How are you doing in school? It's a weird question. Will you ever expand to other games outside of racing games? Top 5 cars? Oh no. And do you plan on making videos with any other YouTubers soon? So what was or is your favorite Need for Speed car? So, oh man, this is just like asking me what are my top 5 favorite cars. You put some questions that I'm unable to answer in literally the last set of questions. So, obvious answer is obvious. It's obviously the Need for Speed Most Wanted, or the Need for Speed BMW GTR, BMW M3 GTR Most Wanted Edition. One of my favorites, but if I mean that's such a cliche answer, so I'm gonna pick something else. And oh man, there's literally so much. There's Darius's R8, there's the RX-7 from Pro Street, there's the Grip King from Pro Street. What else is a really good car that I loved in Need for Speed games? Jules, most wanted Mustang. That was in my last episode, I think, and there's just a lot. Oh, that's probably one that I would say is the East Rider Skyline. That was a classic. So yeah, I would say the BMW M3 GTR Most Wanted Edition or the Skyline, the East Rider Skyline from Underground. And the second question was, how are you doing at school? I have 3 A's, 3 B's, so I'm all good in school. I'm balancing going outside, editing and recording and uploading videos, and I'm also balancing schoolwork. So I have quite a busy time, and also hanging out with friends. So I guess it's 4. So yeah, will you ever expand to any other games outside of racing games? Simple answer, yes. I already explained this near the beginning with Aaron's question, if I'm going to go to GTA 5. Yes, but it's going to be very, very, it's not going to be that often. So, yeah, I think the only other games outside of racing games I'm probably going to upload is GTA 5, Gary's Mod, and I think that's it outside of those games. Oh yeah, and probably NHL. But I'm not going to upload those very often. So, yeah. And then top 5 cars. Oh, man. Oh, man, this is crazy. Alright, top 5 cars. I gotta do this. Oh, it's so difficult. It's so difficult. I would say number 1 is my Aventador, just because, I don't know, I love that car. Oh, yes, the Murcielago. I grew up with that car. So there's 2, the Skyline, the GT86 right now, or the BRZ, whatever that car is. And then, what's number 5? I'm gonna have to go RX-7 or RX-8. I think it's gonna be the RX-8 by a hair, because I remember always picking the RX-8 back in Carbon, and that's pretty much what fueled my love for the RX-8, but yeah, those are my top 5 cars. So, in a very close 6 is going to be the RX-7. And do you plan on making videos with any other YouTubers soon? That's the last question. Yes, but it's gonna be it's gonna be a very, very small amount of YouTubers, just because the racing community isn't that big, and you know, not everyone is up for collaboration, and I completely respect that. So it's mainly just going to be me and Speedway, possibly me and Sergeant CT920, and I don't know. When I usually collaborate with YouTubers, I love the fact that we put as much effort into our channel, so we can kind of relate more. That's why I loved being in Drivecast, because I was around 3 other people who upload consistently, like at least 3 videos a week. And that's why, I don't know, I just love being in that podcast, just because there was so many things that we could talk about, like what our favorite videos that we uploaded were, and all that jazz. I don't know, I just like the fact of being around other YouTubers who actually upload constantly. And you know, you're not going to find many of those in the racing community. You're either going to find people who upload consistently, or find people who are not going to upload at all in the racing community, at least. But and I mean, it's not that big. The racing community, think about it, it's very small in like, it's probably a speck in comparison to the Minecraft or the Call of Duty community. You know, there's not that many people. I think there's only around like 20 or 30 at most. I'd say 30 is like the bare maximum. I think that's pushing it a little too much. Probably 20 to 25, if even 25. I think around 20 racing YouTubers, so there's not that many out there who actually upload consistently and put as much effort into their channel as me or anyone else do. So yeah, it's gonna be a yes. Me and Speedway are actually planning on doing a video sometime soon. So yeah, thank you for your questions, guys, and you know, thank you for also 650 subscribers. And by the time I'm recording this, I'm at 659. So 700 is right around the corner. So I don't know, I'm probably going to do another Q&A then, and also a special video. So what I'm going to be doing for 700 is another Q&A, and then just a special video. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this 25.5-minute long video, leave a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.